and on YouTube as of now. So I'm live right there. And now I'm going to go live on my own page, which should be okay as well. All right, I'm live. All right, everybody. Welcome back. Enjoy your Sunday, the first day of the work week. And this is going to be a live. I wasn't live last Sunday. But this is Reese Clear on one page. I'm also broadcasting the voices of the true Israelites. I am Reese Clear Israel of C. Royale. But before we get into any of that, I want to introduce you to the International Biblical Bible Teacher of Teachers, Seer Israel. And he pronounced that, you spell that Israel with a Y. So it's YSRAEL of C. Royale. And if you got any questions about anything at all, especially anything that you hear in here, you can call it the international line. You call in on the international line that is on 24/7. It is 224-600 here, and he's willing to go over any biblical questions that you may have at any time that you call the line. Now, I'm interested in putting this down because I've been learning some things. I want to say belief, but belief is a tricky word. But either way, I'm seeing that there's differences between people who are with and people that are without. And by with, I mean people who are with Yahweh, YHWH, who have him, and then people that don't have him, which is the people that are without. Now, there's a distinction that I need to make here because I am saying Yahweh, YHWH, that is the name of God. And that's that. Now, I've already covered that in many different things, but I'm going to go right here again with the same piece of historical document that I have right here, where it's saying that one thing that is clear is that the name is not the Lord. So his name is not Lord. His name is not the straight God either. It's Yahweh. This title is substituted for the name almost 7,000 times in most English translations of the Hebrew scriptures. In other words, YHWH is removed 7,000 times out the Bible, and it's replaced 7,000 times for the name Lord. So that's just why I stand with that. You got to go back and check previous things that I put down to get a deeper understanding, because I've already covered that. I'm just giving you these things just as a brief overlay why I'm saying this. The YHWH in Hebrew is a Hebrew word. In Hebrew, that is what God's name is. There was no vowels then, and everyone spoke Hebrew. Period. Everything was Hebrew. From that, even the original transcripts, everything that you're reading came from the name Jehovah and whatever other name that you usually use for God right there don't exist. You're going to come up with YHWH. No matter how you do that, that's just a test. So originally, Hebrew didn't have any vowels. It was written right to left, although some of the consonants carry with them the indication associated with vowel sounds. For instance, the Y is associated with the sound of a long E, as in teen. The H is associated with the sound of a short A, as in ah, AH. The Vav is associated with the vowel U and produces the sound in the word cool. Thus, the name of the creator sounds something like Eoa, with the accent on the second of the three syllables, as is the pronunciation convention in Hebrew. So, I am is the English translation of the meaning of God's personal name, and the English translation of God's personal name is YHWH. With vowels added, it becomes Yahweh, which is YAHEWE. Translated, I am who I am. Either way, that's just putting that. So there's a difference in the behavior of people that without Yahweh and the people that are with Yahweh. And because I'm coming on to the knowledge of the true name of God, and I want to say it correctly, correctly. I'm saying it that way because it fits my soul, and I'm right with YHWH. In the previous standing that I was, it was the same sort of understanding, but it was just as simple as those who believe and those who didn't. A person of the faith and a person that didn't have the faith. And there's a different understanding and actions and everything based upon that, where you stand. So this goes deep, really deep, but the deep calls on to the deep. So now I'm asked Seer to go and walk me through some ways that this is understood so that we can be biblically sound with it.
All right, thank you very much, that brother Reach CC Clear. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna look at how we want to attack and take a look at this by looking at Luke 12:12.
Luke 12:12. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go to Luke 12:12 here, and let's get there. Luke 12:12 reads. Hold on, I ain't properly all the way there. I'm one away. Two away. Luke 12:12 reads, "For the righteous spirit shall teach you in the same hour ye ought to say what ye ought to say."
Excellent. So the righteous spirit will kick in, but understand about this righteous spirit, how it kicks in. See, a lot of people use, they might say Luke 12:12, but we got to be clear on how this righteous spirit kick in by going to, we can look at the books that were taken out in the 1800s, in the book of Sirach, chapter 5. We'll look at something in Sirach, chapter 5.
In Sirach, chapter 5.
And
I've got it right here.
Let's look at 5, verse 1. Then we're going to bag back to 1 through 5. Look at no, make it.
No, I thought we were in 12 or we in 5.
Well, let's go to Sirach chapter 1.
Okay, I got to go back.
1 through 5.
You give me a bookmark and go back a couple.
Sirach. It's called Ecclesiastes, in chapter 5, 1 through 5. Let's see what that say.
In chapter 5, I'm reading it out of the Apocrypha.
5, 1 through 5. About this righteous spirit.
So right, chapter 5, 1 through 5. I'm in the Apocrypha reading it. Okay, I seem to be jumping over it.
Okay, chapter 5.
In my Apocrypha. But you said it's in Ecclesiastes. All right. Okay. Okay.
Chapter 5, 1 through 5.
So it's actually the Apocrypha. It's Ecclesiastics in this in the canon. So 1 through 5. 5, 1 through 5. Set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. And 2, follow not thine own mind and thine strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. And 3, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the YHWH will surely revenge thy pride. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm hath happened unto me? For YHWH is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. Propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
So you know, once you got a calling on you, you have to make sure once you find out it's a calling on you and things not going properly, you got to understand that he's not going to let you go once you know that you've been chosen to take care of this thing. And we're going to look at things based upon...
Hey, when we got... That's on my live.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So in the book, and once you understand your position, In the book of Hebrews 10, 38 and 39 says what?
In Hebrews 10, 38, 39. Get over there. Back there. I was just there.
Mm-hmm. Hebrews 10, 38 and 39.
Hebrews 10, 38 and 39. I should have just kept looking when I had it. Let me get back. So we're going to look at Hebrews 10, 38 and 39. I'm getting there right now.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 38 and 39.
Coming right now. Hebrews 10 and 38 and 39. Read. Hebrews 10, 38 reads. Now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul draw back unto perdition. But of them that believe, to the saving of the soul.
So he's saying that just got to live by his faith. That means by his word and his covenant. And the just means that you're keeping the law that makes you perfect. Perfect by keeping the law. Perfect means you keeping the law in Psalms 19, verse 7.
In Psalms 19, verse 7. Let's go there. It's right after here.
Psalms 19, verse 7 and 8.
7 and 8. So in Psalms 19, Psalms 19, 7, the law of YHWH is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the YHWH is sure, making wise the simple. The statutes of YHWH are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of YHWH is pure, enlightening the eyes.
See that? So what make you perfect is keeping the law. I mean, you just, that means you keeping the law and you keeping the word we just got through using, the law, and that will make you perfect by keeping the law. And then he made a statement to his disciples in 5:48 of Matthew.
Matthew 5:48.
5:48. He said something to his disciples, his followers, in 5:48, saying what?
I'm getting that right now. Matthew 5:48. Matthew 5:48 reads, "Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in the heavens is perfect."
So that means you can be perfect.
You can be perfect. It's not a thing that is impossible.
Perfect means you keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. Now in Sirach chapter 2, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. And Ecclesiastes chapter 2, 1, 2, and 3. My son, if thou come to serve the YHWH, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave on, in verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
He said, don't run.
Don't run from trouble.
Don't run. Once you understand, sit your soul upright, and don't run. And don't run when it get hot and heavy, because you're making the claim about being, if it get hot and heavy on you. In Hebrews chapter 12, verse 4 down to verse 9. To let you know now, giving you heads up, when it happened to you, don't run. Hang in there.
In Hebrews chapter 12.
People are going to throw down to verse number 9.
Throw down verse number 9. Hebrews 12:4 reads, Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And 5, and ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastising of Yahweh, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. 6, for whom Yahweh loveth, he chastiseth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. 7, if ye endure chastising, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Yahweh chastiseth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof are all partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, that's 9. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjugation unto the Father of spirits and live?
Let's get down to verse 12 through 15.
In verse 12, wherefore lift up the hands which hang down in the feeble knees. In 13, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. In verse 14, follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see Yahweh. Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of Yahweh, lest any root of bitterness springeth up, trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
Read verse 14 again.
Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see Yahweh.
So otherwise, if you're not following peace with all men, there's no possible way you can see the Almighty. Is that what we read?
Yes.
So read one more time again. Read one more time again.
Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see Yahweh.
So you see, he letting you know
Hallelujah.
that you got to make sure you have peace with all men. If you got any problem, let's go to Matthew chapter 5 and look what he said in verse 17.
Matthew 5:17. Matthew 5. And Matthew 5:17 reads, Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets, which is the prophets, that's the seers, or the seer. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
All right, so I come to fill the part that's on the table. Let's get down to 21, down to verse 24.
In Matthew 5:21, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, that thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
Right.
In 22, but I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in, but whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hellfire.
Right.
Therefore, if thou bring, and in 23, therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, in 24 reads, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled with thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
So otherwise, you got to be a straight shooter with Yahweh. You have to make sure one thing. If you're going to take his man business, you got to recognize the signs of the time of pay on the page of the book and don't run. Now, we're going to look at based on how relationship supposed to be, because it's telling you exactly in the book of St. John 7:24. In St. John 7:24, I'm going to tell you about a relationship on how you pick your mate in relationship, and then we're going to find out what the duty requirement behind it by looking at St. John 7:24.
So St. John 7:24 reads, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
So when you make a judgment on your better half, male or female, make sure it's not on appearance, it's righteous. And the biblical definitions of righteousness is in Deuteronomy 6:25.
So don't make an appearance that when I'm judging you're saying that when I'm looking for my mate, then don't judge it off of how good she look and body stature and none of that. Just go off of whether she's righteous. And now we finna go and see what righteousness is in Deuteronomy
6:25.
6:25.
Deuteronomy 6:25.
Yeah, come right now. Deuteronomy 6:25 for the precept on what righteousness is. Because that's what we're judging by. 6:25. Deuteronomy 6:25, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our Yahweh as he hath commanded us.
So our righteousness is follow his instructions. And he picked up a set of people to do so in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. Deuteronomy chapter 4, he picked out a people to do his will. We're going to read about it in 4, 1 and 2.
Deuteronomy 4:1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh, the God of your fathers, giveth you.
And he's gonna tell you what kind of man he is in 24 down to 31. He's gonna explain to Moses that the children of Israel know exactly what kind of man he is according to 24 down to verse 31.
And Deuteronomy 4:24, for Yahweh thy God is a consuming fire, even a jealous Yahweh.
Right.
When thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of Yahweh thy God, to provoke him to anger.
Yeah, hold that part right there. He said, now, when you get in the land, you're going to make you a graven image. So now why is he telling you what you're going to do before you even do it? Put a marker there, Brother Reese. We're going to find out something. How could he tell Moses what they're going to do in advance on what they're going to do? We're going to 46, verse 9 and 10. Matter of fact, 8 through 10.
46,
Isaiah 46, 8 down to verse 10.
Isaiah 46, 8 down to 10.
Let me kind of comment on this again. In Deuteronomy 4:25, he said, and you shall corrupt yourself and make a graven image. Of a powerful statement like that. We're going to Isaiah 46 and look at 8, 9, and 10. What does it say?
Okay, Isaiah 46, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Isaiah 46, 8 reads, remember this and show yourselves men.
Yeah.
Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. And 9. Remember the former things of old, for I am Yahweh, and there is none else. I am Yahweh, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
And he made a statement in the book of Numbers, chapter 11, verse 23. He looked Moses eyeball to eyeball and said something to Moses in 11, verse 23.
In Numbers 11, 23.
Mm-hmm. What he said in Numbers 11, 23 there, Brother Reese?
You're getting that right now.
Hallelujah. What?
That's before this.
Numbers chapter 11, verse 23. Numbers chapter 11, verse 23.
Need my other hand. Numbers 11. verse 23. Numbers 11:23 reads, and the Yahu Moses, is Yahweh's hand waxed short?
Yeah.
Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not.
You see that? You say, otherwise, I do not have alligator arms. I'm going to show you whatever I say out my mouth is going to come to pass. So we're going back to Deuteronomy chapter 4, and we're going to read 25 again with that understanding, and we're going to reach down to verse 31.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 4:25. When thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves and make a graven image or the anger.
Right.
I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. You shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahweh shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone.
What you going to do? You going to serve what?
Gods.
And you going to serve what?
Wood and stone.
Wood and stone. Now, this wood and stone in our days is pointing toward what? The cross.
Mm-hmm.
The cross, and it also points toward the stone that the Muslim got over there in Mecca. Stone with the black covering over it.
Mm-hmm.
So he let you know in advance the sign what you're going to do, O children of Israel. You will be standing before a cross. And you'll be standing before a stone because you was in Islam, and you went to Christianity. You was in Christianity, and you went to what do you call it other thing again? Islam, which is the wood, is Christianity, and the stone is Islam. He already told in advance what you gonna do. Now I want to get a precept on that and come right back.
Okay.
Go forward to Deuteronomy 28:64. We're coming right back
To get the precept on what he means by wood and stone. So 28:24, you said?
28:64.
Okay, 28:64. 28 in Deuteronomy 28:64, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. Even wood and stone.
Even wood,
Hallelujah.
Cross,
Hallelujah.
and the stone, which is already told you in advance. You're gonna be into Christianity or you're gonna be into Islam. And who is he talking to? The children of Israel, the children of the book.
So you see every precept, what was said here, what matched over there. He said that the wood and stone, was the cross, and the stone, was the Mecca and the Muslim faith and stuff that is worshiped today. And those are just other gods, which you did not know. And we precepted that over into Deuteronomy 28:64, where it went on to say the same thing. That's what a precept is, to follow up the word of Yahweh with the word of Yahweh so that it stands.
Mm-hmm. So now, once he say you're going to do the wood and the stone, let's see what he say what's going to happen behind that in verse 29. Now, once you doing the wood and the stone,
once you worship the wood and stone,
according to Deuteronomy chapter 4,
Deuteronomy chapter 4:29.
What it say?
But if from this thou shalt seek Yahweh thy God, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
So he said, now look here. Now once you seek him, you're going to find him. But he's going to tell you when you're going to start doing this in verse 30 and 31.
In verse 30, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 30. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days. So in the latter, even in the latter days of your life, the latter days of your tribulation, you're going through something.
Yes.
If thou turn to Yahweh thy God, and shall be obedient unto his voice.
Okay, good. Hold that point. He said this is going to happen when? In the latter days. What days are we in right now?
In the latter days, the last days. The latter means the last.
So this will be going on to wherever these people's called children of Israel. This will be happening to the one that's called the children of Israel in the latter days, which is now. Look, we got written in verse 31.
In verse 31, for Yahweh God is a merciful God.
Yes.
Yahweh. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he swears unto them.
So he let you know, yes, you got an opportunity to come back to the covenant, the agreement that you made. But if you doing the wood and the stone, then you're not in the covenant, because then you know this is what's going to happen to you. Now back to 26 of Leviticus. He's going to give you another precept on this wood and stone and tell you in advance with his full knowledge of things. 26, and he's going to give you the answer if you do not do this, what he going to do. So if you want your mighty one to kick in, look what's written in 26 of Leviticus, 1 down in verse 4. And remember, 1, 2, and 3 you got to do. And 4 going to be pointing to how you can activate him to kick in. Watch
okay, so in Leviticus 26:1, you shall make you no idols, no graven image, neither near you up, okay, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall you set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it. For I am Yahweh, your God. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahweh. If you walk in my statutes and keep my commandments and do them, then will I give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit.
So he let you know in verse 4. Now, if you going contrary to 1, 2, and 3, he would not kick in. You got to understand, if you anywhere connected with 1, 2, and 3, or what he tell you not to do, you will not get the 4. I don't care how much you pray for it, you will not get the 4 until you understand what 1, 2, and 3 saying.
Okay.
To activate the Almighty to kick in your life, you must understand 1, 2, and 3, what you not to do.
So, Seer, we're discussing at the same time, because this is awesome. Hallelujah, that the differences between those who are within and without, those who have Yahweh and those who don't. But the Christian that does not call Yahweh by YHWH, to them, it is more like those who believe and those who within. To even be a believer, to even be any of that, you have to be at least following. You got to be doing what Yahweh has said to do. You have to be following the commandments, which is considered righteousness unto you.
Exactly.
So what we have covered is that when we are going to be checking and looking for the people, marriages and women in our lives, because that's what we covered about. Don't lean to your appearance. Don't go by that. Go by what the righteousness is. Then we went in precept what righteousness was, and righteousness is to follow the commandments and the laws and the statutes of Yahweh. That's what's considered righteousness.
Excellent.
Now, at the same, go ahead.
And now at the same time, we understand that we can't judge on appearance because he got special rules and regulations on showing you exactly what a husband's supposed to do. That's why he got to make sure he has the right decision when he makes, according to Scripture.
According to Scripture.
We're going to Ephesians chapter 5.
Ephesians 5.
And we'll pick up verse 25 down to verse 33. Listen to what he's telling you plainly. He'll tell you something plainly by coming off with the precept of St. John 7:24, judge not according to appearance, because one thing a husband must do. And he'll give the example by the mouth of Paul in Ephesians 5:25-33. Let's see what he says.
In Ephesians 5:25 to what?
33.
Okay. So in Ephesians 5:25, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ, as Yahweh, the Son, also loved the church, which is the congregation of the Israelites, and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, which is a congregation of not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that I should be holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as Yahweh the church. For we are members of his body and of his flesh and of his bones. Continue on.
Yeah, 33.
33. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Yahweh, the Son, and the church. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular say, so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
That means she got respect her husband. The bottom line, but he telling you, husband, love your wife. According to the way the Almighty Yahweh the Son loved the congregation of the children of Israel. That's the kind of love you got to have, requirement for you. That's why you have to make sure in Luke chapter 1, 5-7. See, you got to make sure you understand this thing when it's time to go. They said picking and choosing. So we got to understand the picking and choosing by going to Luke chapter 1 and pick up verse 5 and read till we get our point. Luke chapter 1, verse 5.
Luke 1.
Then we pick up verse 5. We're going to read down to verse number 5 and 6. Let's see what he says. Luke chapter 1, verse 5 and 6.
Okay, Luke 1:5. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias of the course of Abia, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before Yahweh, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of Yahweh, blameless.
That's verse 6. So that means when you get a mate, you both got to be on the same page. If you want the Almighty kick in, you can't. You got to get a mate in time to come, being on the same page. Now we're going to St. John chapter 12,
St. John
46
12.
down to verse 50.
Okay, St. John.
Now we're going to get a case in point.
St. John 12, 46 down to 50. And in 46, St. John 12, 46, I am come a light into the world, that whosoever believeth on me shall not abide in darkness. And if any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not, for I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. And 48, he that rejected me and receiveth not my words hath one that judges him, the word that I have spoken. The same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father, Yahweh, which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as Yahweh said unto me, so I speak.
49 and 50.
That was 49 again. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. That's 49. And I know, and 50, and I know that his commandment is life everlasting. whatsoever I speak, therefore, even as Yahweh said unto me, so I speak.
So he's speaking the words of who?
He's speaking the words of Yahweh, the Father.
So he's speaking the words
And
of
he is
Yahweh the Father.
And he is Yahweh the Son.
Okay, now watch him lead by example by going to Matthew 12, 46 down to verse 50.
Matthew
Watch him
12,
lead by
46
example.
down to
He
50.
will not tell you anything that he will not cover the past first. Matthew 12, 46 to 50.
Matthew 12, 46. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. They stood without. They stood on the outside, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who is my brethren? And 49, and he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. And 50, for whosoever shall do the will of Yahweh which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
Mm-hmm. So he's letting you know by leading by example. His mother and his father, his brothers and sisters, and one that do the will. The one that's without. He's looking at it on the spiritual level. You always have without and within bloodline. But you got to make a choice according to the scripture. Now go to the 19th chapter of the same book.
Okay, Matthew
19th chapter,
19.
same book. And they're gonna lay some down the line in verse 17.
Matthew 19, 17.
We're gonna take it on down to get our point. 17 and 18.
Okay. Matthew 19, 17.
I'll tell you what, pick up at verse 16 to make it sound good.
Matthew 19, 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, good master, what good things shall I do that I may have eternal life? In 17, he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Excellent. That's what we're going to. So if you want to enter into life, you got to keep the laws, statutes, and the commandments. And in Deuteronomy 8:3, Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1, 3, and 6. Let's see what Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1, 3, and 6 says. He said, you're going to enter into life. You keep the commandments. That means laws, statutes, and commandments.
So in Deuteronomy 8:1, all the commandments which I command thee this day should you observe to do, that you may live and multiply and go and possess the land which Yahweh swore unto your fathers. Skipping down to 3, and he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread only, but by every word that proceeded out. And then skipping to 6, therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy God, to walk in his ways and to fear him.
See that? So let's see that Paul make any objection on the right side of the book. He said, if you want to enter into life, you keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And let's see how Paul put it in Romans chapter 7, verse 1, 10 through 12. Then we'll skip down to 16 and 21. Romans chapter 7, verse 1, 10 through 12, 16 and 21.
So Romans, okay, let me get there.
Romans chapter 7, verse 1, get down 10 through 12, 16 and 21. Let's see that Paul make any adjustment on that conversation.
So 1, then 10 through 12, then 16 through 21.
No, 16 and 21.
16 and 21. So 1, in Romans 7:1, know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
The law had what?
Dominion.
Over you how long?
Forever, long as you live.
As long as you live on the right side of the book, you up under the law as long as you live.
But it's people that say that the New Testament, Christ came and died and did away with the law.
Okay, we read in Romans chapter 7, at this time, the Almighty Son is back in heaven.
Yes.
If anybody knew that the law was done away with, it would be Paul.
It would have been Paul who was writing in Romans.
Because he writing when he back in heaven.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, let's read exactly his resume in Galatians chapter 1 and find out his resume. Do he know what he's talking about? By going to, they say that the law is done away with. But Paul, let's find out Paul's resume. Let's get his resume up in Galatians 1:15 and find out and read a bit about his resume.
In Galatians 1:15, but when it pleased YHWH, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace.
Right.
In 16, to reveal his son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen.
Right.
Immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood,
Right.
neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me, but I went into Arabia and returned again unto Damascus. That's in 17. And 18, then after 3 years I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days.
Right.
19, but other of the apostles saw I none, save James, the YHWH's brother.
So he said he was raised from the womb to tell you what the man is saying. So Paul was raised from the womb to let you know that the law have dominion over you as long as you live. So now you got his resume. He was raised from the womb. And matter of fact, since you made that statement, we'll go and get a precept in Acts 24:14.
Okay.
What Paul said, what he's about. We're going to Acts 24:14 and see what Paul is about. Because they teach the law is done away with, then what Paul's doing, telling you about the law that don't exist over you as long as you live. We go on to the book of Acts, and at this time, the Almighty is back in heaven. Acts chapter 24, verse 14, what does it say?
I'm still getting to the Acts. I had to enact my other hand.
Acts 24, verse 14. Let's find out what he said.
Acts 24:14 reads, but this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call hearsay, so they call it heresy, so worship I the YHWH of my fathers, the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets.
You see that? So Paul said he believed what?
He believed everything that was written in the law.
Everything is written in the law and the seals. He believed it all.
Yeah.
So Paul let you know it ain't done away with, because that's what he's working with.
And he worships it. He says it right there. He worships it and believes it.
Let's get a precept on that. We're going to the 26th chapter, verse 22.
In Acts 26:22, it reads, having therefore obtained help of YHWH, I continue on to this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come.
You see that? So everything he had to say is what Moses and the seers had to say. And I preached to I talked to the young and the old, the rich and the poor. That's what we're reading.
That's what we read.
We'll read it again.
In Acts 26:22, having therefore obtained help of YHWH, I continue on to this day, witnessing both to the small and the great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. The prophets is the seers. So saying that correctly, saying none other than Moses and the seers did say should come.
So he's saying the same thing that they said. And what did the Almighty tell them to say? In Leviticus 24, verse 1 and 8. Now we go, he said, I believe everything they got on the table. He said, everything they spoke. So what did he spoke? And 24, verse 1 and 8. What did he believe? Everything that the seers and in the law did speak. So what did they say? We're going
in
to see
Leviticus
what they
24:1
and 8.
and 8. In Leviticus 24:1. And Yahweh spoke unto Moses, saying, skipping down to 8. Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before Yahweh continually, being taken from the children of Israel by an everlasting covenant.
He says, springboard your life from the Sabbath day. Well, then we have a problem to know, well, what time is the Sabbath day? Let's find out according to what time is the Sabbath day. We're going to get us a precept to see what time is the Sabbath day. We want to get it from the Bible first.
Okay.
So we go on and see what time is the Sabbath day by going to Leviticus 23, and we're going to look at around about where we're going. We go on and look at what time is the Sabbath day. We'll look at verse 32 now. Now skip down to the 4th line and start where it says from. We'll get right down to the crux of the matter.
Okay, from even, which means night, to 6 p.m. basically.
No,
from even on to even, shall you celebrate your Sabbath.
So the Sabbath day is from what time again?
From the evening until the evening.
From evening to evening, you celebrate your Sabbath. That means Friday night to Saturday night. That's what Paul did. He done the Friday night to Saturday night. Remember, he said, I did not come to change anything but to fulfill it. Now we go on to Luke chapter 4. And we're going to Luke 4 and see that the Almighty make any adjustment on keeping sundown Friday and sundown Saturday.
Luke 4.
We're going to pick it around by verse number 14 to 17.
Luke 4:14. And Yahweh the Son returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the region around about. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as is his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. In 17, and there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet, the seer, Isaiah.
Stop right there. So what was delivered to him? The book of Isaiah. So Isaiah is what you call in modern day, that's called the Old Testament. So what did he ask for the Old Testament for?
He asked for the Old Testament.
That means Old Testament is still what they were teaching in. So Yahweh the Son taught out of the Old Testament because he asked them to deliver him the book of Isaiah. Is that what we read?
That's what we read.
But what did Paul do in the 17th chapter when he was on the clock? 17:1 and 2. Acts 17:1 and 2. What did Paul do?
Let's get over to Acts 17:1 and 2. Let's see.
Acts chapter 17.
In Acts 17:1. Now when they had passed through, passed through Apaphilius in Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where was a synagogue of the Jews. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
Oh, so he read them out of what?
3 out of the scriptures.
Out of the scriptures.
3 Sabbath days.
From Malachi to Genesis, that's what Paul taught on 3 Sabbath days in a row. Then that means we can miss the odd Sabbath day, huh? Let's look at 18 verse 4 and see what he did on that odd Sabbath day.
Is that Acts 18 verse 4?
18 verse 4. Let's see what he did on that odd Sabbath day.
In Acts 18 verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
So he reasoned with northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Israel every Sabbath day. So he sprung forth his life by keeping the Sabbath day.
Yes.
So now we're going back to Acts 28. We know Yahweh the Son is back in heaven.
Yes.
And let's see how long did he teach in the 28th chapter of Acts, verse 23. How long did he teach on the Sabbath day? We can find out right now.
In Acts 28:23, and when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him into his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified the kingdom of Yahweh, persuading them concerning Yahweh the Son, both out of the law of Moses and out of the seers, from morning till even.
From morning to how long?
Even.
Until the sun went down.
So from sun up to sundown.
There you go. So if you're following Paul, then remember, Paul taught until the sun went down. Because that was the law, from Friday evening to Saturday evening. So Paul's taught from the morning all the way to the sunset. Is that what we read?
That's what we read.
So Paul taught from, and that's why he tell you one thing, that we got to make sure we clear to understand what Yahweh is saying. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 12 and 13.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, 12 and 13.
First Corinthians chapter 5, verse 12 and 13.
5, 12 and 13. 5, 12. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? So that on the outside, bringing it back to what the whole discussion was in the first place. We precepted you all the way around the Bible to bring you back into the without and within. So for what have I to do? So in 1 Corinthians 5, 12, for what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within. But in 13, but them that are without, God, Yahweh judgeth. Therefore, put away from among yourselves that wicked person.
So when you without, according to Paul, what that make you in verse 13?
A wicked person.
A wicked person. So you something to do anything when you without the covenant of Yahweh's word. You something to do anything. So when Paul started getting aggressive in the lesson and moving on, in 2 Corinthians, he set the president exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the 6th chapter, verse 14 through 18.
2 Corinthians
6, 14 through 18.
Okay. 2 Corinthians 6:14 reads, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? In 15, and what concord hath Yahweh with Belial? Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? In 16, and what agreement hath the temple of Yahweh with idols? For ye are the temple of the living Yahweh. As Yahweh hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their Yahweh, their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith Yahweh, and touch not that unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters.
So you
Saith Yahweh. All right.
Well, you go ahead and break that down. What he's saying. Go ahead.
He's saying that if you're not unequally yoked, you can't be unequally yoked. So the people that are without are considered wicked, and they're unequally yoked. He has no covenant with them, no nothing with them, period. And if you remain in that situation, you have nothing in him. But if you're not unequally yoked and you following Yahweh and following his laws and commandments, which we precepted that is considered righteousness, then he will be your father. He will accept you as his son. And if you are a daughter, he will accept you as his daughter.
Now we're going to break that down on another spiritual level. Go back and read 6:14 again.
6:14.
2 Corinthians 6:14 again.
2 Corinthians 6:14
Real good.
reads, "Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
And we'll give you an example. Go ahead.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?
Go ahead.
And what communion hath light with darkness?"
Light with darkness. Is that what he said?
He said darkness. Yes, he
Okay,
did.
good. Let's go and get a precept on this darkness.
On what darkness is.
What do light have to do with dark?
Okay.
They don't mix together. Let's find out who this darkness is. And we'll find out
So you
who
mean to
light is.
tell me though that they not, when they say darkness in this case, that they not just talking about you cutting the light off and that type of darkness is what it sounds like.
We'll get a precept
Okay.
to find out exactly what that means by looking at 119, 104 of Psalm.
Psalms 119, 104 is what we get in the precept. Psalms 119, I'm there. And then we're gonna go to 104. 104. Through my precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. That is Psalms 19, 104. We precept them right now.
So if you don't precept your Bible, it's a what?
And he hated it.
It's a for you. Let the Bible who stands before you. If he precepting the Bible or he telling a story, you're out of the will of the Almighty.
Can we get a precept on what a precept is, or like why we have to precept that?
Okay. Robert, you know, precept on the precept. What the precept mean?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to Isaiah 28.
Isaiah 28.
And we'll pick it around by the time what is a precept. We go on to Isaiah 28 and we get an idea of what is a precept. Isaiah 28, and we'll pick it up at verse number. Let's see him talk first. Verse 8.
Isaiah 28, 8 reads, "For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean."
Go ahead. 9.
And 9, "Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
Go ahead.
Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast."
So whom will he make to understand doctrine? Now, what is that doctrine anyway? Before we read verse 10, let's back up to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. Let's find out what is this what we're looking at. We're looking at what is this doctrine. Let's find what is the doctrine that we got to know by going to Proverbs chapter 4, verse 1 and 2.
Getting that right now.
Mm-hmm. Proverbs chapter 4, we're going to find out what is this doctrine. You got to know some doctrine. What is he talking about? And we're going to see if we can get a precept on what is the doctrine in 4, 1 and 2.
Okay, so chapter 4.
Verse 1 and 2 of Proverbs.
Proverbs 4, verse
1 and 2.
Verse, "Good doctrine, forsake ye not my law."
Oh, so the doctrine is what?
His law.
His law. So otherwise, it's law. That's what he's talking about. You got to understand his law. That's what the doctrine is, his law.
The doctrine is his law.
Now, we're going back by understanding you must precept your Bible to find out what is this darkness is. 26. And let's see, what is this darkness is? He said, I don't want you to hang around darkness. I want you to hang around light.
Acts 26.
Light and light. That's what he said.
Okay.
We're going.
18 is written in red, so that's Yaquata's sons, right? Words. "To open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light, and from the power of Satan unto Yahweh, that they may receive forgiveness of sins an inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me.
So he said to open their eyes,
Mm-hmm.
to turn them from darkness to light, from the power of Satan. So
Yes.
when you in darkness, not understanding his word, you in the power of Satan, the devil.
You're in the power of the
When
devil.
you don't understand, and you in the ministry has not taught you that when you in darkness, you're in the power of Satan, the devil. And he warned his disciples about that in St. John chapter 14, 20 through 30. He warned them about this darkness. Let you know when you up under Satan, just how he stands with Satan.
Okay.
St. John chapter 28,
I'm getting that right
14,
now.
verse 28 through 30.
14, verse 28 through 30. Hold on, let me get there. It's right before this.
So when you in darkness, he gonna explain exactly. So why when you in
Man, you
Satan,
said 14, 28 through 30 or 28?
yes, sir. St. John
14, 28 through 30.
Yes.
But the Comforter, is that where we at? No, I'm at 26. Ye heard how I said unto you, that's 28, am I in the right place? And St. John 14, 28, you have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come again unto you. If you love me, you would rejoice because I said, I go on to YHWH the Father, for YHWH is greater than I. And now I have told you in 29, and now I have told you before it came to pass, that when it is come to pass, you might believe. In 30, hereafter I will not talk with you, for the prince of this world cometh and has nothing in me.
Yeah, what?
He has nothing
Yeah,
in
nothing in me. So you're off in Satan. You don't understand that he got rules and regulations, especially pertaining to his Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is a sign between me and you. The Sabbath day is sundown Friday, sundown Saturday. That is his sign. And he told Moses to tell the children of Israel that in 31 verse 1, 12 through 18. Exodus chapter 31 verse 1, 12 through 18. Then what he gonna do in verse 18, he gonna put his signature on what he wants to be done. Then you know that's a check that you can catch.
You said I'm in Exodus 31?
We're going to Exodus chapter 31, verse 1, 12 through 18.
31, 12 through 18. In Exodus 31, 12. And YHWH spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the YHWH that doth sanctify you. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For so whosoever doth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days, that's 15. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to YHWH. Whosoever doth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. And 16, wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. And 17, it is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days YHWH made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tablets of testimony, tables of stone written with the fingers of YHWH.
So he signed it. Otherwise, like when you get your check from your boss man,
He signed
that check on there, you know you can go cash it.
Yes.
That same thing he tell you about this Sabbath day. Keep this Sabbath day.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
That's the sign between how you know you got the sign if you keep it the Sabbath day.
Okay.
Now go to the 44th chapter. Let's let a seer kick in.
At the same book?
We're going to Ezekiel 44.
Ezekiel 44.
And we're gonna look at a seer getting a order about something. We're going to Ezekiel 44, And look at verse 23 down to verse 24.
I got my marker right there too. Ezekiel 44.
Ezekiel 44, verse 23 and 24.
Verse 23 and 24.
Yes.
So in Ezekiel 44, 23
And 24.
and 24. At 23, and they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Yes.
In 24, and in controversy, they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge if according to my judgments, and they shall keep my laws and my statutes in all mine assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths.
See that? And you should hallow my Sabbath.
Hallow.
So you got to be able to teach between the clean and the unclean. The clean when you're keeping the Sabbath day, and when you're not keeping the Sabbath day, you're unclean. There, he said the one that's in leadership supposed to teach between the clean and the unclean. Is that what we read?
That's what we read.
Then he went into 24 and told you about it's according to my judgment, and they shall keep my laws and my statutes and in all my assemblies and hallow my Sabbath. That means break out running on my Sabbath day.
Forever.
What
He said by the generations.
Was Leviticus 23, 1, 2, and 3.
So we go to Leviticus 23, 1, 2, and 3.
Leviticus 23, 1, 2, and 3. This is what you do on Friday evening to Saturday evening. Let's see what you do. Leviticus 23, 1, 2, and 3.
Leviticus 23, 1. Moses and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, that's 1, and 2, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, in holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in your seasons.
You know, on the Sabbath day, not only, well, I'm gonna keep the Sabbath day, but I'm gonna jack my slacks. No, what about the gathering? You gotta be your king. And Psalm 73, 15 through 70. Let's see what David said and what he do when it comes down to temple worship.
In Psalms 15, what?
73, 15 down
In
to
Psalms 73. Okay.
Psalm 73, 15 through 17.
Psalm 73, 15. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation, stood I therein.
So he said, I will sit in my house, my big old temple, my big old household, and said, I had trouble in my brain. I didn't understand. But he noticed that it was for him to get the answer. He had to get up from where he was at and get down to the temple. And that's when he understood the problem that he was going to. And that's why you got men today in Acts chapter 3 understand these things to be in position, because we know you will have problems and we know what got to be done. Alarm will go off in Acts chapter 3. Let's find out what's going on. Let's read a little bit.
Okay.
Acts 3, let's read a little bit.
Acts 3 what?
3:1.
In Acts 3:1, now Peter and John went up together into the temple at the hour of prayer, being the 9th hour. And 2, and a certain man lame from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to ask alms of them that entered into the temple. And 3, who seeing Peter and John about to go into the temple, asked an alms. And 4, and Peter, fasting his eyes upon him with John, said, look on us.
Stop it there. So now all this going on, this man knew that he was in bad shape. He got to the temple because he knew leadership was coming to the temple. So when he got to the temple, expecting Peter to put something in his cup, Peter done what in verse 5?
In verse 5, in Acts 3:5, and he gave heed unto them, expecting to receive something of them. In 6, then Peter said, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, give I thee. In the name of Yahweh the Son of Nazareth, rise up and walk.
So he said, in the name of who?
Yahweh.
Of who?
The Son.
Of who?
Of Nazareth.
No, he said, Yahweh the Son of the Christian.
Yeah, no, he didn't say of the Christian.
He said of the who?
Of the Nazareth.
Of the Nazarene.
Yeah, of the Nazarene.
Of the Nazarene. Because Yahweh the Son was not a Christian. The word didn't even exist at the time. There was no English. 449. Yahweh of Nazareth.
Yes.
Is that what reads?
Yes, that's what reads.
Then while they were at the temple, Peter told him exactly, since y'all made it here now, let me tell y'all who you are in verse 25 and 26.
Okay. Is that the same book? 3:25.
3, 25, and 26. Now you got him at the temple now. So now he gonna grab the microphone. Now he gonna look at the pews of the book and remind them exactly who they are.
Okay, and in Acts 3:25, ye are the children of the seers, and of the covenant which Yahweh made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindreds of the earth be blessed. Unto you first Yahweh, having raised up his son, Yahweh sent him to bless you, and turning away every one of you from his iniquities.
But see, but see, I tell you today, now in thy religion you'll be blessed.
No, he didn't say in religion there.
You be blessed. How would you be blessed in thy what?
You will be blessed. 35. Ye are the children of the seers and of the covenant, which Yahweh made with our fathers, saying unto Abraham, and in thy seed shall all the kindred.
Bloodline covenant.
Bloodline.
This is a blood seed.
So it's by blood.
This is by bloodline. So you have to remind the people that come to the congregation of children of Israel, in thy seed, the blessing is in the seed. So
right.
You are a seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, you in the blessing. But
right.
Now you got to turn back to the covenant to receive the full benefit. Because you got to walk in that light. And who is that light? And we'll find out who is that light. There's certain things you got to have. St. John chapter 8, verse 12 says what? Like, remember, we know the darkness is Satan the devil.
We know the darkness is Satan the devil. We precept
that. Let's find out who this light is, that you got to walk into this light.
You said it's St. John
8, verse 12.
In 12 reads, then spake the Father Son again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, not walk in Satan, but shall have the light of life.
See that? You have the light of life. Now this light of light is what? St. John 20:31. Now watch this.
In St. John 20:31.
Listen to this now. Listen to the precept.
And St. John 20:31 reads, but these are written that ye might believe that Yahweh the Son is the Christ, the Son of Yahweh, and that believing ye might have the life through his name.
You got life. What kind of way?
Through his name.
You got to know his name. Life is in the name.
Yes.
So you got to have the name. And that what he told Moses to tell the children of Israel in 9:16 of the book of Exodus.
Exodus 9:16.
Life is in the name. And what
Life
the
itself
Almighty
is in the name.
And life and what Almighty wanted to tell Moses to pass on about the life is in the name. Exodus 9:16 says what?
Exodus 9:16 says, and in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth.
So the Almighty want is what?
He want his name.
He want his name
Yahweh.
to be declared throughout all the earth.
All of them.
That's what he want is his name.
Yes.
And he tell you in 23:13 of the book of Exodus. What did he tell you in 23?
In Exodus 23:13.
What did he say?
Get there. Right quick. I'm too far.
23:13. What do he started talking to Moses? And 23:13. What did he tell
Exodus 23:13, he says, and in all things have I said unto you, and in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth.
He said, I want another name to come out your mouth. He said, watch yourself, be circumspect. He said, don't mention of a name or any other YHWH's.
No.
I don't want none to come out your mouth. So you don't shorten his name, you don't elongate his name. You give you what the man tell you his name is, that's the end of it. Because his name carries what? 116 verse 13. Let's see what his name carries.
116.
Proverbs, no, make it Psalms. 116:13. What do his name carry?
Psalms 116.
116 verse 13. What do his name carry?
We'll get there. Psalms 116 verse 13, you said, right?
Yes. 116 verse 13. What do his name carry?
Get back a little bit.
Psalms 116 verse 13.
Psalms 116 verse 13. I will take the cup of salvation and call upon the name of Yahweh.
How many letters is that? 4 letters.
Yes.
YHWH.
YHWH.
So salvation is in the name. So Peter pulled that verse after he heard it and made it plain in Acts 4 verse 12. And what did he say?
In Acts 4 verse 12.
Acts chapter 4 verse 12.
And Acts, let me get them. I'm there right now. I'm not right now. Acts 4.
Acts 4 verse 12.
One more page. Acts 4 verse 12 reads, neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved.
So the only name you call on is the 4-letter name, and that's the name that gets you saved.
YHWH.
Why? Let's get a couple more in.
I got to sum this up, see it, so that I can dissect into acclimate into your very life. But we brought you back as far as what the understanding is that this live is about on my page and everything. There are other pages and just different behaviors and actions that are seen in those who have the Yahweh, YHWH, and those who don't. In other words, those who are within and those who are without. We're given through the Bible the precepts of that those who are without are, considered in darkness, and darkness is Satan. So that is Satan. Those who are in darkness are in Satan. So if you're without, then you don't have anything. You're not in covenant if you don't have anything. So, and he even said that about his own mother when they came to say, behold, Yahweh's son, what some call Jesus Christ, but we know he's Yahweh's son. They said that. Hey, your people, I'm paraphrasing, they out side. He said, hold on, who are they? The people that's in here following the laws of the choir are my people. So keep that in mind. And that is the reason why you go through so many behaviors and so much stuff that could be going on in your life, because you expect the people that's without to behave like the people that are within. And that's why you're running away from the people that are within sometimes, because you may run into one that is supposed to be within who is behaving like those that are without. And then you will say, no, I don't want nothing to do with the whole thing. So we have to be careful, as the scriptures has told us. So till next time, y'all, tune in and see it clear.
Hallelujah. How you do it? So now you know why a lot of times people in arguments or whatever. When you whip out, you something to be offered to anything can jump off. Baby, why you call the police on me? You know why I call you on me? Ain't no without. I said to do anything. I ain't got nothing to check me. But say, see that? So that's right. Now that lesson is for those who got ear to hear. I was just getting warmed up, man.
Yeah, I understand that. But I like to give them what they're gonna have, and then keep coming with the rest.
You gave them them home. They got put out in there. You got what you need up in there.
I've been outside for a while. She ain't gonna go nowhere, do nothing.
She out there?
Yeah, she been out there. She been said that.
Hallelujah.
Y'all been putting these. I got a lot of different ways that I could do things and edit things. So
I know it.
This is one of them. So let me end this here live as well. Oh yeah.